All right, good evening, you guys. This is Tara with Tara Beth Stamps. Just going to do some quick adjusting here. See if I can see my video. If you're popping on, make sure you let me know that you're watching. Right. Okay, I think I have it going. All right, as I said, this is Tara with Tara Beth Stamps. Thank you so much for joining me on Sunday night. Ooh, I'm going to shut my door real quick. I forgot to do that last week too. And the puppies started barking and carrying on. So, this is Tara Beth. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Mid-Missouri. If you're here, hey Angie, thanks for jumping on. We're going to do a live tutorial again tonight. And I am going to use the Delicate Desert Suite. So there's a lot of product in this suite. You've got the brushed metallic that's got a combination of soft succulent and gold. It's got some rose gold and calypso coral. Hey Susan, hey Rosie, thanks for joining. I'm glad you like the card. So we're going to do a double Z fold. We're using the stamp set, the die set, and then obviously a little bit of the DSP and the brushed metallic. So this is today's card. Just a real easy double Z fold. I like to do these fun folds, as you know. Hey Karen, thanks for joining. Hopefully you don't lose me again this week. If so, if you're not on my YouTube channel, I beg you to go join my, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can hit that magic number and finally be able to move over there. So here's today's card. I'm going to get started. Just a little DSP. Yeah, not a lot of DSP, just a little bit is what I used, Rosie. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, set some of that stuff aside, and I'm going to bring out my Simply Score tool. Okay, I've got two different cuts of cardstock. Oh, and one of the things that I didn't say is we're going to do this card tonight in the Calypso Coral version versus the green tones. So we'll see how you can make it differently. So I have a piece of 4.5 by 11 cardstock that I am going to score at 2 3/4 with my Simply Score tool and 5.5. So this is going to be our card base. So this is a piece of Calypso Coral. Then I have a piece of 3 1/4 by 9, and we're just going to score that easily at 3 and at 6. All right. So first thing we're going to do is do a little burnishing here, a little folding and burnishing. So we are going to create a Z here. So we're going to fold one way and fold the other. So this is, you hear it called mountain and valley, you hear it called opposite, you know, up and down, Z, any other combination of wording you can use. But basically what we're doing is just creating that Z. I'm not really sure how that goes to make it a Z, but there we go. So this is going to be a part of it. And then what we're going to do is we are going to fold this card in half. And this is just the way I like to fold it. I like to fold it in half and then fold it back on itself. And I use a good bone folder because I want a nice, crisp, clean fold, because this has lots of layers, so it's definitely going to need that extra postage. But I think all of the layers really help make it beautiful. So extra postage on this one, and we want it to fit in the envelope. So let's do stamping first. Okay, so I've got everything set up here. Hey Karen, hey Lori, thanks for joining me. Okay, so all these dimensions will be available on my blog tomorrow, and that's at www.tarabethstamps.blogspot.com. And I've got 3 pieces of very vanilla, and one is not cut right because they're not all 3 the same size. Oh, wait a minute, because I only need 2 that are the same size. That's why. Okay, hold on, Terry. You know what you're doing here. I made this card on Thursday before I went out of town for the weekend. It's wrestling season, so this weekend we were in Iowa. So Gavin and I headed up. Well, I guess I headed up. My stepmom went with me, and Tim had to go to a funeral, so he was here. So I went and did the mom thing by myself, the parenting thing all by myself. And we got home, I guess, about 8:30 last night. But baby boy did well, which is important. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Stamparatus out. The reason I'm going to use my Stamparatus is because this border die or border stamp is very long, and I think sometimes it's difficult to get a good straight image with those long stamps, especially with it being a cling stamp. It's a little harder to make sure that you get it straight. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that I do with the Stamparatus. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little mark here. This is going to be my corner. You can tell I've done this a couple of different times on this paper. So I'm going to make a mark here, and then I'm going to line my stamp set, or cling stamp on here about where I want it. And so I feel like that is straight, but it's difficult to tell. So I'm going to open my Stamparatus, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'll take my plate out and look, is I'm going to kind of look at the grid lines and where my stamp is. And I feel like it's not perfectly straight. So I'm going to kind of adjust it there. But then before I do any stamping, I'm going to bring in my ink pad, and I'm going to ink this up. And it doesn't have to be really good because I'm just kind of getting an idea here. And so this on my grid paper is showing me that the way I adjusted it was terrible because now it's really off. So now I'm going to pull it up just a little bit and see if I can't get a better image here. And it's not great. So let's try it again. All right, so this is right on the line. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Very Vanilla. I'm going to put my 2 magnets on there. I'm going to ink it up and give it a close here. You get ink everywhere with your Stamparatus. I try to be careful. Now, I did something today. I have no idea what I was doing, but I had black ink all over my fingers, Rosie. It was terrible. All right, so now I'm going to line up my second sheet, and I know exactly where I want my paper because I have that marking with that ink pen. And the nice thing is this grid paper is available right there on the website. And it's super cheap. It's way cheaper to stamp on that than it is to lose a bunch of cardstock. So that's one of the things that I do. All right, I'll set that out of the way. And let's see here. What did I have on the inside here? Did I just have... Oh, you've got a big heart. So I also brought in the Happy Labels die. So I'm loving this set. There's my happy place. Well, if I can find it, what does it look like again? You've got a really big heart. So script. Just want to hug you. Do, 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 do. Well, this is embarrassing. You're my happy place. You were born. No one like you. How am I missing this, guys? There we go. I think I picked that same one up 3 times. All right, so that one's a little bit longer than my block. So I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to use it cattywampus. Since it's a photopolymer, it'll be pretty easy to see. All right, so I'm going to bring this out, and I'm going to use some soft succulent in here. for the sentiment. So inking it up real well. I'm going to use my grid paper to help me line it up. So you'll notice that I'm using grid paper on a lot of different things to help line up those sentiments. All right, we'll set that out of the way. And then this one, let's see here. This is, let's see here. What else do we need to stamp here? I went ahead and I did a small piece of the pale papaya for the sentiment on the front. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining. All right, I'm going to ink this up with some Calypso Coral. I used the Happy Labels punch on each side of that. There's that. Now I think the only thing we have left to stamp is our succulents. And we're going to do a little something. That's what the odd shaped piece of Very Vanilla was for, you guys. Hey Jamie Sue, thanks for joining. All right, so I am going to ink this up. I'm probably not doing that so you can see it. Really good with my soft succulent ink. Wonder if I have. Here we go. I've got a sponge dauber here. I'm just going to kind of go around and just really get in. This is a distinctive stamp, so you're going to get two different tones of color. Now, the other thing that we'll do it on the second one. So you can see I kind of pushed in a little more ink around, giving it a little bit of a darker tone. Now, I'm going to take some Calypso Coral with my sponge dauber and kind of go around the edges. So this is going to be one of those succulents that's kind of two-toned. And hopefully that doesn't look terrible. There we go. It looks a little muddy, but it's not bad. All right, we're going to bring in our new Boho Blue mini die cut machine, and we're going to die cut these out. So we'll just do two quick swipes through here, and so what I do is I just line up my die, and with the mini machine, I don't feel like I need tape to keep it in place. I think I may have said that before, but I think with the mini machine you can keep your dies where they belong a little easier than you can with the large machine. All right. And here's the second one. Once we get this, oh, now it did shift. And I'll just shift it right back there. Once we get this die cut, it'll be time to assemble. So this mini boho machine, this is available if you sign up as a demonstrator. Now, signing up as a demonstrator is the easiest thing you can do. It's a no-brainer. You get this month and in February, you can get the boho machine, $175 worth of product, free shipping, and a great team. So it's really a no-brainer. If you're interested, give me a call, give me a shout. I'd love to talk to you about it. That's really the only obligation you ever have, is just buying it that one time. That's it. Come on in. You would be amazed. All right, so what I have here is I have two pieces of pale papaya at 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have some of the brushed metallic cardstock in the Calypso Coral and Rose Gold. I'm going to add this on here with a little liquid adhesive. So you can see there is lots of layers to this. So yes, like I said, Yep, Karen, an amazing team is what we got going on here. All right. So this is going to be for the smaller Z sides. Okay. So we'll set those aside to cure a little bit. This is going to be the back layer. So this is 5 1/8 by 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then the specialty DSP is 4 by 5 1/4. Oh my goodness, you guys, can you hear my baby crying out there? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my card base, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that on with just a little bit of liquid adhesive. Oh yeah, Rosie, thanks. In 20% off. So, you know, you have people that say they only like to go to big box stores because they like the coupons. Nothing is like, it's coupon magic with Stampin' Up, in my opinion. Just buying for yourself. All right, so I'm using liquid adhesive. It is best to use a little bit. Doesn't take very much at all. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is your card base. I'm trying to decide, what do we think? Calypso Coral with the pale papaya or the soft succulent? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Which one are you loving the most? I'm kind of digging the Calypso Coral, but I'm an orange girl, so that's not really that big a surprise for me. Although soft succulent is my favorite green of all greens. All right, so now I have my mats for my Very Vanilla and my DSP. So you'll notice this is what I used on the green card. And I just flipped it over. I've got matching DSP. So just a small amount of glue. Karen, you're a Calypso Coral girl? I can't hardly believe that. I thought you would be Team Succulent all the way. All right. Creating that small edge again. So this one is going to go on the front. Jamie Sue, you're the soft succulent one. I think there's going to be a lot of soft succulents. All right. There's that one. And then there's for the inside. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my Z here. Oh, Mary, doesn't shock me that you're a soft succulent girl. Oh, so is Susan. Calypso Coral's behind. I don't know what I'm going to do. All right. So we're going to glue this on the inside, creating just that small frame around it, just ever so slight. Then I'm going to bring in my layer for the inside mat here. And I really would have liked it to gone this way, but I already had it cut out. So when you're doing this, watch your patterns if it's not a complete square, that you cut it the way you want it. All right, and now this is for the front. Soft succulent, another one, another Team Succulent. All right. So there's your Z. We are almost done, you guys. It's crazy. Went really quick tonight. I thought this one would take a little bit longer. DSP with now. Ooh, Rosie, you and I are on the same wavelength. I've used Night of Navy 400 times this weekend. I seem like every card base I made, I'm like, oh, Night of Navy. Oh, Night of Navy. Okay, so this is tear tape. If you've watched me before, you know that I like tear tape on fun fold cards. It holds just a little bit better. So I put that tear tape just 3 strips on this very back. And I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm going to pull this adhesive off, the adhesive backing off. Okay. Okay, so here's where you have to be careful, because once you get this tear tape on here, it is down for life. So that's why a lot of people don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to be careful not to adhere it to the bottom. I'm just going to find where I like it on the front. You see? But I've got it lifted up just ever so slightly, so I can decide where I want it. Ooh, that is going to be a problem for me. My paper shifted after I started jacking around with it. Well, it'll have to do, because I can't really fix it right now. So I'm going to find where I like it, and then I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to get my head in the window shot here. Just make sure it's even, and I'm going to press it down. Now, let's see if I can't get this off so I can fix that. So I'm taking my take your pick tool. This was not a planned part of this demonstration. And I am sliding it in between my layers to kind of break up that glue that's on there. And when I pull this out, it's going to be really gunky. But because it hasn't had time to cure, I might be able to fix it. Oh, looky here. So I'm just kind of breaking up that adhesion. Hopefully I don't ruin the card front. Because I just can't have it be that crooked. It'll drive me crazy. So this is probably a feature of the Take Your Pick tool you don't see very often, is this little bitty slide guy. Okay. Woo! Okay. So underneath, been there, done that, Mary. I'm sure you have. Maybe not on camera. So you'll see that I kind of tore the heck out of the back, but nobody's going to see that part. So we're going to try that again. And it's going to take a lot of glue this time because we've kind of got different layers. Let's see here. There we go. Ooh, seal that bad boy down. So yes, this is on the opposite side of the pick side. So don't exactly love to use that, but it's there if you need it. Right smack dab on camera. All right, so we're just about done with the card front. What we are going to do is we're just going to kind of layer this stuff up and see how we like it. I've got an extra piece or two here that I didn't. I grabbed this and cut this as well. We're going to see if it's going to make it too busy. It may. I don't know. Oh, first of all, I need to, now that I've done that, I need to glue this side down. I know, wasn't it driving you crazy, Karen, just to look at that? I knew it couldn't last like that. It would have ended up straight in the trash. All right, just another couple of pieces of that tear tape. Rosie, are you confused? This is Tara, not Mary's live. I'm not the linen thread gal. Although I did use it a couple of times today, now that I think about it. All right. I think I'm going to hang that off just a little bit. And then we'll do the succulent. So this is shimmer paper. This is available in the new mini catalog. It comes in gold and that soft succulent. And it is so pretty. I don't even know if the camera shows you as pretty as it is. Oh, dimensionals are on their way. Dimensionals are on their way. Don't you worry about that. All right. And there they are. So let's do a couple of dimensionals on each side of the thank you. And we'll put that right there. And so the basis of card making is just layers. The more layers you have, it's one of those things you kind of have to test the boundaries and see how many you need. Sometimes you have to step away and go, stop, put everything down. All right, Karen, you're finally moving over to Team Coral. Hey, Vicki, thanks for joining. All right. So, there we go. There's today's card. And I don't know if I have it. There we go. We'll grab an envelope here and do a little gluing on the back here, because as everyone knows, there's to be no naked envelopes. So I've got another piece of that DSP. I'm just going to slide it up here to the top. Give it a good swipe there. And give it a quick cut. All right. So what have we got going on? Not a whole lot of news on anything new other than the joining special. You want to nab that while you can. If you're interested in getting some supplies at a really good value, reach out. I'll explain the details, explain what's required of you, which really is nothing, just enjoying your wonderful supplies. But we'll chat about that. All right. These dimensions, everything will be available on my blog tomorrow. Thank you so much for spending another Sunday night with me. I appreciate it. I'll see you next week. I'm pretty excited that the video didn't shut off this week. So we will see you again here next week. If, like I said earlier, if you could jump on to YouTube and like my page there, increase our following there so we can start doing these on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for everything, and I'll see you next week.